everybody, it's Amy Graham, the Badass Valkyrie, and today I was going to take you through what I did in March and how I set up April in my Hobonichi Weeks, my Planner Prime, which is the Jaboon Techo in the A5 Slim, my Erin Condren Wellness Log, and my Hobonichi Cousin Avec, January through June, as well as my bullet journal. And this is the stealth version of the official bullet journal, which is Leuchtturm 1917 version. But it is the stealth version that came with Ryder Carroll's the bullet journal method. So I'm going to go ahead and take you through these. And I will go ahead and start with my weeks. And if you watched my previous video, it one of my previous videos, and I'll link it up above in the cards. You will know that I switched from my Hobonichi Weeks Mega in Banana to the Hobonichi, I can never remember it, but I just call it the Bunny Weeks. And it is the bow tie material version, and this is a spring edition. I had to switch because of the coffee catastrophe of 2019. So, I backfilled a little bit in March, and this is how March ended up. And then this is April so far. I've still got to fill in yesterday. But, and this is where I put my Finding 52, which happened yesterday as well. It was, I took some time and I had a long breakfast, and I did a bunch of reading, trying to finish up Wabi Sabi, the book. And then I also I started my meditation, my 10-day program meditation, and then I did some yoga. And it's just little stuff all combined into one just for my self-care, but it's something that I have not been doing normally on my Sunday mornings. And it was just really nice, just very relaxing, took about 3 hours, and it was just 3 hours all to myself, and I loved it. So I will be filling that in tonight. And then we jump forward to the week, and this is the week that I started. I backfilled up until the 18th from my previous weeks, and I will still be archiving the Banana Mega. But this is where I kind of started, and I had gotten it on Friday, and I took a day off, or half a day off, just to start filling it in. And as you can see, I use stickers, some stickers, and some washi tape, but I don't really use kits. And this is a lot for me. This is the only place that I use this amount of stickers. Normally, I'm a very minimalist planner, and I know that the week's kits and everything have been taken off, or have been just going crazy everywhere. But personally, I actually like making the weeks my own, and this just brings me comfort. And this is all about self-care. So down to doing what makes me joyful, my orders and shipments received. Sometimes it's stuff that makes me happy. It's just what that week makes me happy. And I put stickers in stuff that, like when I'm gaming, I use the little laptop stickers. This is my fasting stickers. It's Once More with Love little flags. And then this was last week, and I did my first, if you saw my Instagram, my Stepping It Up Sundays, which in 5 weeks I have my next triathlon. So I'm doing a run, a bike, and a swim all in the same day on Sundays, and which made having a little bit of self-care in the morning even more important to me, because even though I wasn't exhausted, it was tiring, and I was just like, okay, I know that I have not lost that training, but it's like, I gotta step it up some more. So, but this is last week, and then this is set up for next week, and I've gone through and I've well, I was going to say I've marked it in as far as the lines go, but I did not do that in here yet. I did it in my Cousin Avec, and I'll show you that. I still have not transferred anything into the notes pages yet, but that is on my to-do list for this coming Sunday. So hopefully I get that taken care of. And then I just have this Taroko Shop. It's actually a B6 Slim folder. It's one of the Kitech folders. It's washable. And I just have that in the back here, just to hold stickers and everything, because I didn't like sticking them in there because I never saw them. So that's my weeks. And this is, as always, a Chic Sparrow weekly cover in Calypso. And it says, spend the rest of your life celebrating. And this was a gift from a friend, Tiffany Lou, who's a member of this channel. And I love it. And I had switched to the Mystics Little Gifts. But what I found is it's really thick. And so just for right now, I like the slim form factor of this. And I just keep going back to it. And I can't help it. In Planner Prime, this is a Foxy Fix Cedar A5 Perfect Fit cover, but because I'm using the Cousin Avec, the Hobonichi Cousin Avec, which is just January through June, so it's half a book, it's half the size of a cousin, I keep my ideas notebook and my Jabun Techo in here as well as my Erin Condren Wellness Log, and this is where I do some of my menu and meal planning and that kind of thing. The Jabun Techo is strictly for social media and like for my blogs, my vlogs, my YouTube videos. And as you can tell, it did not, it got damaged during the Great Catastrophe, but not to the point where it was falling apart like the other weeks. So this is, let's see, this is how March ended up. And I started doing, I was trying to get ahead in my recordings for YouTube. And so I would put down what I was recording. Then I broke it down to be filmed and to be uploaded. And that worked out really well. But I found that I actually like getting a video done and then posting it the next day because it just feels like it's in sequential order to me. And some of these were done out of order, because I was getting so many shipments in because I went a lot crazy in February. But that is definitely coming down to a close now in April. Amy has put herself on a budget for the second quarter, and you will see that in here as well. But this is where we're at, actually. We have, there's where we're at. And when I list today, or when I start editing today's video, which will be later on this afternoon, I will put that here. This is my Erin Condren Wellness Log, and March ended up very good. I have kept on top of this, even though now I'm also including the calorie and macro count for everything that I have here. This is a general overview, and this also tells me certain things. I've actually added, let me skip forward here to this week so it's a little easier to see. I have actually added what time I wake up, what time my last meal is, and when I go to bed. I am also tracking if I have my apple cider vinegar in the morning and what type of coffee, if I have bulletproof coffee or black coffee. And these little blue marks here will show you where I'm actually fasting. And I'm fasting, I'm doing 16/8 intermittent fasting. And so far, so good. I've been doing it since the last week of March, and I am enjoying it immensely. And I'm not doing it for weight loss. I'm actually doing it to help reset my microbiome and to help lengthen my telomeres and all of that. So I do 16/8, and so I go from 6 p.m. on, like tonight, I do 6 p.m. tonight to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. And then from 10 a.m. to the next day, I have off. So although I have been trying to always not eat anything after 8 o'clock, so it's like a 12-hour fast regardless. But if I want to change that up, I can. And then I skip a day, and then I start again. So it's fast from 6 to 10 a.m., have the rest of that day, and the next day free. Then I start again at 6 a.m. or 6 p.m. So that's how I kind of keep track of it. And as you can see here, I just wrote down everything. And in my pocket, I have a pocket Yellow Paper House food journal, which I track all my macros, which is like the protein, the calories, the carbs, and the fat of everything that I eat. And I'm not doing that to lose weight, although I'm hoping that does kind of kick into that. But what I'm doing for the month of April is seeing where I'm at, seeing how the intermittent fasting has affected me or does affect me. I'm not changing the way I'm eating right now. And then that way in May, I can actually determine what I want to start cutting down. I can already tell you that I want to start cutting down my carbs, but I need to figure out where I can start cutting that. So, and continue my training. You'll see here the days that are in green are the days that I actually met my goals for that day. And up here in the corner, that's where I note that I met it. And I honestly have kept track since January. And so I am very proud of myself for doing that. And this works out really well and just slips in. And one of the viewers out there, she had suggested slipping this in. And I do this quite often. I just had it out because I was updating it. Because it's hard to write when you're like this and you have this underneath it. Sometimes I'll pull it out, but then I was getting out of work late, and so I just stuck it in. But it works out really well. That's March, and so far so good in that journal. And then this is my Hobonichi Cousin Avec, and this is how April. Oh, let me actually get to April. Or March. This is how March ended up. And I realized that I was putting a lot in here in some days, and I'm like, I don't need to put all of that. So I'm kind of trying to wean it down a little bit and just put in the important things, like my best friend Kelly got us tickets to share, whoop whoop, on my birthday, December 13th, which is Friday the 13th. And we're on the 13th row, which I am so excited about. And this is going to be in New Orleans. So I will be going to NOLA in December for my week of my birthday and partying with my best friend. And then in March, you can see I do color blocking, and the blue is work, orange is self-care, pink is commute because I hate it the most. And then green is my training. I don't always do the evening color tracking, but I always block out my work day. And then on Saturday and Sunday, it just is kind of how it flows. And then all my weekly tasks and everything there. And so this is how, this is the 11th week of the year, St. Patrick's Day. And this is the 14th. And I started adding, I got my Coffee Monsters co-order in to get some more no spin stickers. And this is the end of April, or end of March. And we are into April. And this was last week. I did not get a lot of chores done, although there are some things I still need to add. Yesterday, Sunday, ended up being pretty hectic. We saw Shazam and ended up having our date night here. So tonight I will get that input and updated. As you can tell, I haven't even moved my marker, but this is this week. And yeah, I didn't get to put in my weekly stuff yet, but I will be doing that today. And then we'll flip to March. You already saw this. So this is March's. The things that I did not get done was no fast food. I did end up getting fast food. My stationary no spend was ridiculous. So I will talk about that in the budgets here in a few minutes. I got my 30 miles run. I did not get I was planning on doing my 10-day meditation in March, but I just didn't get it done. So these are my daily pages for March. And as you can tell, see, I don't do a whole lot. I do separate, I block out certain things. This is my to-do list. This is my schedule. these are the things that I'm kind of focusing on that day. This is my priority. Here is my gratitude. And here right now in March, it was my workout of the day. And then here I could just journal. But I have changed that up a little bit. But as you can tell, I don't really use a whole lot of stickers or anything like that during the day. I may occasionally put it on my weekly, but the weeks is where I usually put stickers when I do, because that makes me happy and it just kind of feels natural for self-care. Now here, yes, when there's a special holiday or something, I will try to decorate the page a little bit. But otherwise, it's pretty minimal. And here's where I started changing it up a little bit and doing the fast. And I decided instead of the workout of the day, I was going to put my fasting. And I was going back and forth, and I changed it up in April. And I actually changed it up here. So I have my fasting here. I try to list the sunset. And then my training, I'm blocking off an extra block here for my training. So most of those pages, as you could tell, I wasn't going and using all of my journal section. So what I've done is I've taken this last section and extended it over, and that's where I'm putting my training. So that was the end of March, and this is the April welcome. This is a little piece that I actually wrote, and it's in one of my novels. And as she heeds the raven's call, her heart beats faster. Her head bows, and she is enveloped by the power of the All-Father. Freya's lust begins to burn within her. The greatness of the gods fulfills her, and she rises, Valkyrie. And I found that in on a Facebook post, where how it kind of, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. I wrote this on March 31st, 2015. And it spoke to me, and I was like, I need to put that back in there. So my things that I'm focusing on for April is the 100-day project, 16/8 fasting. I'm trying to incorporate TRX, which is it's a body weight pulley system that was developed by the Navy SEALs, which I have in my home gym here. Following my training plan, getting my giant closet, which I call the boudoir, cleaned up, and that's the next giant room that's on my declutter list. No eating after 8 p.m., doing the 10-day meditation plan, swimming and biking weekly, and my food journal daily. Now, this is my budget. So these are the extra things that I do, and so this is my budget for the month, for the quarter, which I'm going to try to stay under. And so for stationery items, pen, or whatever, it's $75. My fast food is $100, but I'm hoping not to use that. But again, there are times when my husband and I go out, and so I consider all going out fast food. So it's not like it's all McDonald's. It's like we could go out for a sit-down dinner and at date night, and I pay for it, and that is still considered fast food. Anything that is not cooked at home is fast food. So don't think that this is all McDonald's and Burger King, because it's not. Field notes, $21 for the month. Traveler's notebooks, $150 for the month. Coffee related items, mugs, whatever, my Nespresso pods, my tea, whatever, $50. Stickers, which as of April 5th, I've already maxed out my budget by, it was $39.40 for my Coffee Monsters Co. order for her new releases, because she hadn't had a new release in like a month and a half. And so, because of her exams and stuff. So, I went a little crazy, but I stayed under budget. And pens and pencils, $25. Now, that's a lot of money if you add it all up. But, usually, it's 1 or 2 or 3 of these. And these are all places where I could cut. And as much as I hate to say it, these are all much lower than they have been the first quarter. I took from November to March, took an average, and then I cut it. So, yes, this is cut drastically. Yeah, which is why you will not be seeing a lot of unboxings for the next few months. But I can also adjust. So one of the things that I do like one-offs on, like buying a bag. So I recently purchased a bag off of eBay for $150, and it's a Superior Labor Engineer bag. And so therefore my TN budget is blown. So I will not be spending any money on traveler's notebooks. Or I would not spend any money on like field notes, coffee, and pens and pencils. I don't necessarily give myself all of this every month. But if I do buy pens and pencils, I need to keep it under $25. If I do buy traveler's notebooks, it better be under $150. But because, like I said, I purchased a bag, I will not be spending that. So once I get the bag in and make sure I'm keeping it, then I will mark that off. So that's my budget. And this has been February. So as you can tell, I have, again, the to-dos I need to do, my journaling, my exercise, my fasting, my gratitude, my priority for the day, and then things that I'm focusing on. And this is April so far. And I did not journal anything on Saturday. I was so busy, and so that's okay. I may go back in and put a little bit there, but this was Sunday, and I'm working on things for today. So, but what I was talking about is I have it all blocked out for the entire month, and so that's what it looks like. And this gets moved forward to the next full moon when I do the tarot reading there. But that's how I have my Hobonichi Cousin Avec set up. And then and for my pen that I normally use in there, I've been really loving the Sarasa Mark On in the 0.4. This is awesome. I have this in blue. I have it in black. And then I have a Sarasa Clip pen in the orange, a couple of different orange colors. It's not the Mark On, but the Mark On is waterproof ink. And that saved my bacon for when Tyr pushed the coffee off. I'm not planning on that happening again, but just in case, those pens rock. This is the Mystic's Little Gifts in Orchid, and this is the, it's a notebook folio. And again, like I said, it is the stealth version of the official bullet journal by Leuchtturm. And this is, let me go back here a little bit. This is how January, February, and March ended up. And then I have April, May, and June in my future log. And then I have the entire year in here. And then 2020. I haven't gotten anything in 2020 yet, but I will. And this is our date nights. And also I've added in here series that I'm binge watching with Greg in black. Purple is the ones I'm binge watching by myself, mostly because he's already watched it, much to my dismay. But the Umbrella Academy is what I've been doing lately. And then our movie date nights are in orange. So we just saw Shazam last night, and we loved it. 2 thumbs up. It's awesome. And this is my year in pixels so far. My injury is my thumb. And no, I'm not wearing my brace right now. My hands are a little bit swollen from training so hard yesterday. And so the brace was a little bit tight on it today. So I'm just kind of letting it do itself. But I always sleep in it. Since I've had it, I've slept every night in it. And it actually has helped tremendously. But this is the way that's turning out. And these are my 2019 goals and milestones. And I always refer back to them. And so for March, this was my March day, a line a day, or basically just what's happening per day. My March task list, and I checked off what I've done, moved forward anything that needed to be moved forward or canceled, and then what I was waiting for. As you can see, March was crazy. Let's see if I've got what I did in February. So yeah, little bit crazy in March. I agree. I understand. So, and then these are just the dailies, and what I need to get done. And then at the end of every week is what 5 things did I learn this week? And I do that week in review. And this is week 12, week 13. Then this is my first quarter wrap up, and goals that were met. As I said, were no soda for the entire quarter. I've done finding 52 every week. The living room is completely decluttered. I took the stairs the entire month of March, and I added to our savings account. I have successfully improved my meals and started intermittent fasting. I've increased my average sleep time to 7.5 hours a night. I've done 10 ideas a day logging since the day I started, which was 227. And I hit my 30 miles to run, and I've done a clothing no spend for the entire quarter. Goals that I've missed. I did not hit 30 miles in February. I did in January. I did not do a TN no spend successfully, obviously. I did not complete a no fast food for March, and I have not started my 10-day meditation program yet. And this was at the end of March. And what I plan to focus on better, I need to focus on more on how my body is reacting to training, and what I'm putting it through, and not push myself too hard just for the sake of beating my numbers. I have come to the conclusion that sometimes I am my worst enemy, and I push myself for no apparent reason. And some of you may have noticed that in next week has been changed from a half marathon. Actually, I could just show you. It was going to be the half marathon on April 13th. But when I registered, I decided to do a 10K. And the reason for that is I did not see a point in doing a half marathon again. I was slow in ramping up my training, and I have committed to doing a 10K every quarter, and this can be the 10K for the second quarter. And I do plan on doing a half marathon this summer, or fall, but I just didn't feel like my body was ready. And so I just changed it to a 10K. I don't know if I'll do a full marathon this year. I have no clue. But I have registered for the Women of Steel Triathlon, and that's May 11th. I have not registered for the Echo Triathlon or the Morro Bay Triathlon. I'm already registered for the Wonder Woman 10K. So that changed. The Brine Man Triathlon, it's the same day, and I'm an ambassador for Wonder Woman. So after the Women of Steel, we will see. The Echo Triathlon in July, it will be my first open water swim, and it's in a lake, so it's not in the ocean. The Morro Bay Triathlon is in the ocean. But I am evaluating where I want to be. And I have been thinking about what I'm doing to my body and pushing it too hard at my age. Even though at 52 and a half, I feel great. All of my results have come back great. My thyroid is a little high, so I have a hypothyroid, but they want to test me again in 4 to 6 weeks, because it'll be high, then it'll be low, high, low, high, low. So I've done that the past 2 times, and so they want to test me again in 4 to 6 weeks and see if I need to go on thyroid medication. We'll see. Everything else, absolutely perfect. My doctor's like, I have 20-year-olds that would love to have your blood work. It's amazing. So sadly, my arthritis and things like that are kicking my ass, but I no longer have, 20-year-olds beating on me. So we're hopeful that helps. But, so that's part of this commitment, is to figure out how my training is affecting my body, and is it a benefit or is it not? So am I hurting more than helping? I want to work on even more of my circadian rhythms and figure out the best sleep and fasting schedule for me. I still need to incorporate more veggies into our regular meals. I also need to cook more and use less processed foods, which once the farmers markets open here, which is usually May, mid-May, then I will be doing a ton more vegetables and organic foods here from the farmers markets, because we have fantastic farmers markets. all in all, I'm very happy with how March turned out, and I'm looking forward to a better ending in April and the second quarter going forward. Second quarter goals is to declutter my closet room, run 30 miles, and add 3, so 33 miles for the second quarter. Increase my average sleep time by 5%. Follow monthly preset budget for TNs and stationery, and that is that list that I gave you, which is right here. Stationery, fast food, field notes. These are the things that I needed to work on that I have no control on. So those are the budget items. And I run a 10K race, which will be this week. Run 1 triathlon, which will be the Women of Steel in May. Increase our savings again. And then read 1 new book per month. April specific goals is my 16-8 fasting schedule. No eating after 8. Taking stairs every day. Set April budgets and follow. Again, that's what that is. Record meals in my food journal, which I've done so far. 10-day meditation program. Run 3 times per week. Swim and bike 1 time per week, which I've done so far. Follow my budget and or adjust from other categories, but no going over the total. So reduce more if possible. So there's what that is. So that is my second quarter goals going forward. This is the opening of April. And again, that same quote that I wrote back in 2015. And as I said, here, like I said, my TN budget is blown because I got the bag. I got an order from August Tea, which you will see tomorrow on, or when this goes live, you may have already seen it on my Instagram, because I'm trying to incorporate more tea at night. So I'm drinking less coffee during the day. I drink all my coffee in the morning, and I used to drink 8 cups a day, sometimes 9, but I've reduced that by half, just because I'm not drinking any coffee after 2, but I've been incorporating more tea and different types of tea and trying to do that and trying to do some research because I want to be a coffee and tea house when I retire. That's what I want to own, along with the stationery store. My stickers is done for the month, and then my pens and pencils I haven't done. So the ones that have no red in them at all, I've not put anything towards them. This is the April line a day, and as you can see, I already have certain things all lined up for the rest of the month. My task list, what I'm waiting for, what I need to purchase. And these are things that I want, but my bromelain I have to get because I'm out, but I want to get a set of custom Chucks, the Chuck Taylor All-Stars. I want to get an orange pair, and I have a friend that can get me 40% off, and we're going to do that. The Aura Ring, which helps track my sleeping and activity. I have been doing research on that, and I am currently saving for that, which it's about, right now they have a special going, and it's like $249, but I don't want to just go out and purchase it and put it on a credit card. I want to actually save for it and build that into my savings. A Sunflower Weeks cover. I really want one from Foxy Fix. And my Kylie, I want to get a couple of Kylie Reichman folders or inserts. So, but those are wants. And just by writing that down, it got it out of my head. So I wasn't like obsessing about it. So it has helped tremendously. And I got that little tip from John Rush, who has doing a no spend, low spend kind of thing. And it really does. If there is something that I want, I'm going to make a list for it. Doesn't matter when I buy it. It just means, oh, look, it's on the list. I know that I want to get that eventually, but I don't have to get it right now. And my brain is not obsessing about it. So that it has worked so far. I know we're only 8 days into April, but that's a big step for me. This is the first week of April and my review. And then this is starting out this week. So that is what we have for my bullet journal. Now, I will say that there is another video coming of all my pocket TNs and what I carry in my bag with me. And I will show you some things that I've been doing. I've changed that up just a little bit. And so I have a pocket, a passport, and a micro that I got from Speckled Fawns, which is my wallet now. It was the passport, but it has changed. And so I will be doing a separate video on my tiny EDC bits. So this is my everyday carries in my big bag. Planner Prime, Bullet Journal, and Weeks. And I will show you the little version of those that I have and how I've adjusted that in the next video. So, which will probably go up on Thursday or Friday. So there you have it. And if you have any questions about any of these or what I'm doing or all of that, and I will go into my intermittent fasting a little bit more in my smaller planning, because that's where I track everything, micros, all my macros and everything in there. So I will get into that further and let you know what I'm doing as far as my tracking and all of that everywhere. But this is the bulk of my planning in general. You guys will obviously see a lot less of the unboxings. I mean, my regular monthly subscriptions like my Cocoa Daisy will be coming, but I have curbed my wild spending that happened in the first quarter because I do want to try to keep my budget low in the second quarter. So we'll see how that goes, and I will keep you guys abreast of the situation. If you do budgeting and you have a sticker budget, let me know what yours is down below. Or if you have things that you enjoy that you have to budget out because you go crazy, let me know what those are, because obviously y'all saw mine. There were a few things that I have no control over. Used to be shoes, not anymore. Not until I found these things. And so it's the year of declutter, and I have to declutter my urges as well as everything else. So as always, spend the rest of your day celebrating, and I will talk to you guys in the next video. Bye.